Good morning, students. I am Rakesh Kumar. I am again with you with the chapter Electric Current and its Chemical Effect. In the previous classes, we have learned the various things related with the electric current, chemical effect of electric current. As I told, this chapter is very important. So many questions are asked from here. Now, in previous class, we have discussed the application of chemical effect of electric current. This is in which we have discussed three main applications of chemical effect of electric current, which are extraction of metal from their ore. As I told in the previous class that for extracting the metal from their ore, we have to follow some processes, mainly concentration of ore, oxidation of ore, reduction of ore, and purification of ore. But by the chemical effect of electric current, we can extract some metal like aluminum, sodium, potassium, calcium directly by the chemical effect of electric current. It means without following the process of concentration of ore, oxidation of ore, reduction of ore, and purification of ore, we can directly extract the aluminum, sodium, potassium, and calcium by this method. Now, next one is electrorefining. This metal is especially for such extraction of such metal which are extracted from their ore by the traditional method, means by following the process concentration of ore, oxidation of ore, and reduction of ore. When any metal is extracted with the help of the traditional method, means by the concentration, oxidation, and reduction, then finally such metals are purified by this method, means chemical effect of electric current. For example, iron, copper, zinc, and so many metals. Now, third one is electroplating. Now, this is very important. A question may be asked that what do you mean by electroplating? What are the main facts about the electroplating? Today, I can give the homework or cannot give the homework, but memorize. One thing is important, what is electroplating, how it is possible, and today we discuss the needs of electroplating as well as the practical applications of the electroplating. So, for today's class, this is the main important fact, or you can say our today's class is mainly concentrated on the electroplating. In electroplating or for electroplating, see this figure. This is an electrolytic chamber in which there is a anode, cathode, electrolytic solution, battery connection. So this is the electrolytic chamber. So for the electroplating, this chamber is necessary. Now, how we can do the electroplating? So for doing the electroplating, successfully. At first we require this chamber. After that we have to do some or follow some processes. See here, process of electroplating. First, the article to be electroplated should be made the cathode of an electrolytic cell. This the figure shown by me just 1 minute before, 1 minute ago, that is electrolytic cell or electrolytic chamber. So if we have to electroplate any object with the help of a desired metal, then we must have to put the article to be electroplated at the anode. Remember or memorize, I am repeating again. The article on which we have to do the electroplating or article to be electroplated should be made at a cathode, or the article on which we have to do the electroplating must be put at cathode. Now second one, the anode is made of the pure metal which is to be coated on the article, or anode is made of such metal of which electroplating is done. And third one, a suitable soluble salt of the material of anode should be taken as electrolyte. For example, suppose you have a key of your bicycle. You want to electroplate that key with silver. Then you must have to place the key at cathode. Why? Because we know that article which we have to electroplate should be placed at cathode. I am repeating again. The article which we have to electroplate should be placed at cathode. So we must have to put the key of your bicycle on at the anode of the electrolytic chamber. Now you want to electroplate your key of bicycle by the silver, so you must have to put silver at anode. So the article on which we have to do the electroplating place at cathode, and article or metal of which electroplating is done, or the metal which to be coated on the given material should be placed at anode. Here in this example, the material on which we have to do the electroplating is the key of your bicycle. So that key means that metallic object must be placed at cathode, and you want to electroplate the key means your key of your bicycle by the silver. So silver is the metal of which we have do the electroplating, means you want to electroplate the silver on your key of bicycle. So you have to put the silver metal at anode. Point is clear? I am repeating again. The material on which we have to do the electroplating is placed at cathode. The material on which we have to do the electroplating is placed at cathode. This is point 1. Here in this example, we have to do the electroplating on your key of bicycle. So, the key of bicycle must be placed or put on the cathode. Now, second point, anode is made of pure metal which is to be coated on the article. Here in this example, we want to coat our or polished our key of bicycle with the help of silver. So we must have to put the silver material, silver metal on anode. Now third point, a suitable soluble salt of anode metal is taken as electrolyte. So we may take silver chloride, silver nitrate, silver sulfate, which are the soluble salt of the silver. Okay, now question is asked, discuss some practical applications or needs of the electroplating. In previous class, we have discussed the application of chemical effect of electric current, which are extraction of metal, electrorefining and electroplating. But this is another question, that what are the practical applications of the electroplating, or what are the needs of the electroplating in our daily life. So this is different from the chemical effect of electric current. You may say this is the part of a chemical effect of electric current, and in present era this is very important. Now we have to do the electroplating, or we do the electroplating, or needs of the electroplating in the three sectors. First sector is to improve, alter the appearance. Second, to provide a protective layer. And third one is to minimize the cost. Now I am going to discuss each one by one. First, to improve or alter the appearance. Suppose in your house, on your dining table, there are so many spoons are placed. Now you want that your spoons or the objects or metallic objects, say plate, cup, glass, looks like the silver. You want to increase your standard status. You know silver is costly metal. So if you are trying to arrange your tablewares made from the silver, then in doing so you have to arrange more and more money for this. But there is a shortcut process by which we can do it very easily in the minimum cost. So if we want to improve the or alter the appearance or luster, we have to do the electroplating. There are so many examples. For example, the bath taps are made from iron, but we improve or alter the appearance with the help of electroplating. of chromium and nickel. In this or for this, we have to place the base material, means our bathtubs or any material, or say your glass, cup, spoons, etc. at the cathode. If you want to electroplate them with the help of silver, so you must have to put the silver at anode, and you choose the electrolyte as the soluble salt of anode, means soluble salt of silver. Similarly, next point is to provide a protective layer or strengthening the material. For this, see your bicycle. In your bicycle, when you observe the bicycle carefully, then you find that rim of the cycle, and in some old model cycles the handles of the cycle looks shiny white, whereas another part looks like black. Why this happens so? Because your rims and handles are electroplated with the nickel and chromium, whereas rest part of cycle are painted with the suitable paint. Now, what is the need of electroplating? If we do the electroplating, then by this process we make our object stronger. Why? Because when we electroplate the material, then it behaves like a protective layer for that. For example, at a present nowadays, you see the grills of balconies, which looks like the stainless steel. In this figure, this looks like the steel, as well as your top of your gas stove looks like steel, but actually these are not the stainless steel. These are made from the steel, and we do the electroplating of nickel and chromium, due to which they appears like the stainless steel. This coating of nickel and chromium provide the strength to the material, as well as this protect the material from the corrosion. So, if we do the electroplating of a metal, then that electroplating provide the strength as well as protect the material from the outer attack. Mainly, we do the electroplating of the objects which are made from the iron or steel. Why? Because you know that in iron or steel, rusting takes place, and by the rusting, our material or metal is being destroyed after some time. So, in order to prevent that material, means material or objects made from the iron and steel, we electroplate that material with the help of nickel and chromium or another suitable metals, so that they looks better as well as they are protected, means we get a stronger material which lasts for the longer period. So electroplating is done for improving or alter the appearance. Second, to provide a protective and strengthening coating. And third one is to minimize the cost. Your mother or sister wear the ornaments. See, don't try to wear the pure ornaments made from the pure metals, mainly pure precious metals, means mainly the ornaments made from the gold. Why? Because there is danger of thief. So nowadays most of the female are using the electroplated ornaments, in which the ornament is made from a cheaper metallic substance, and electroplating is of gold or silver is done, by which we are able to minimize the cost. So electroplating is very, very important for us, because by this process we are able to improve or alter the luster, provide the strength to the metallic objects, and minimize the cost. Here question is asked that if we say that short answer type question, then for short answer type question the question is, what do you mean by electroplating? Second, what are the main necessities for the electroplating? And third, what are the usage of, or what are the practical applications, or what are the needs of the electroplating? But whenever we have to ask a long answer type question, then we combine these three questions together and we get, or we can make one question. What do you mean by electroplating? What are the important necessities for the electroplating? And write the practical applications or needs of the electroplating. So if you want to write the question as homework, then you may write these four questions. First, what is electroplating? Second, what are the necessities of important facts about the electroplating? And third, what is the applications of, practical applications of electroplating? And fourth question, a long answer type question, in which you may combine these three questions. So by this, just I have completed the electroplating. If any students have some questions regarding this, then he or she may call me by a video calling or any other method after the completion of class, means after 10:30. Okay. Now next is Faraday's discoveries. In this chapter we have learned that how the electricity is generated with the help of cells. But you never think that how we generate the electricity by the flowing water or by the thermoelectricity. For this, there is a important discovery which is done by the Michael Faraday in 1831, by which we are capable to convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Means we do the mechanical work and get the electrical energy. For this, we have to do some experiment. See this is a coil. This is the basic experiment by which the Faraday is capable to generate the electricity with the help of mechanical work. Here in this figure, this is a coil made from an insulated copper wire, and this is connected with a bulb. What insulated copper wire means? Copper wire which is insulated means which behaves like a wire covered with plastic. But for making a coil, the copper wire is coated with the enamel which behaves like insulator. So this is known as insulated copper wire. It looks like a simple copper wire, but it is actually insulated copper wire. Now, with this experiment, Faraday gave a phenomena which is known as electromagnetic induction. So, in electromagnetic induction, mainly mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. In this phenomena, the electric current can be generated by a changing magnetic field. In this, with the help of a magnet, we change the electromagnetic field of this wire, and we get this coil means insulated copper wire, and we get the electricity. For this, Faraday push the magnet into the coil and remove slowly. Then he find that whenever there is relative motion between the coil and the magnet, the electric current is generated, means our bulb glows. So this is known as electromagnetic induction. Why? Because there is no direct contact between the magnet and the coil. While pushing or pulling the magnet, into the coil or pulling the magnet from the coil, there is no direct touch with the coil and the magnet. Now, whenever there is a relative motion between a magnet and a coil, that is part of electric circuit, a current force flows through the coil. The flow of current stops as soon as the magnet and the coil are at rest with respect to each other, and the faster is the relative motion between the magnet and the coil, the more is the current that flows through the coil. And next one is the direction of current obtained by moving the magnet away from the coil is opposed to the direction when the magnet is moved towards the current. So, if we summarize these four facts, then we can say electric current is generated in the coil when there is relative motion between the magnet and the coil. Whenever the motion is stopped, means both are in the rest position of rest with respect to each other, then no current flows. Whenever relative motion is faster, the current obtained is more, and relative motion is lesser, then the current is less. And the direction of current obtained changes when direction of motion changes. It means whenever we push the magnet into the coil, we get the current, and pull the magnet from the coil in, then you also get the current. But the direction of current obtained in pushing the coil and the direction of current obtained in pulling the coil, both are different, both are opposite to each other. So this is a very important fact. By this we are capable to generate the electricity This theory or this principle is used by us in the generator. In generator, this theory of Faraday's electromagnetic induction is used. So, in this way, the chapter is finished. In next class, we will do the question answer of this chapter, or okay. Mainly in next class, I will discuss the chapter end questions of this chapter. Okay, thank you.